Well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to open this Polk County Board of Commissioners. It's September 28th. Extra agendas are on the table. Commissioner Pope is excused. Looking for comments not on this agenda. Yeah, come on in. Here's your name and address.
My name is Gary Wise. I live in Middle Creek Village in Dallas. It's 1401 West Ellendale, number 73. I just wanted to have some general comments about what's going on in our state and how I think it will affect the budget in Polk County. That's my main concern. And there are two measures, 114 and I believe 111. 114 is so poorly written that I have no idea what the sheriff is going to have to do in order to provide a permit person and to appoint instructors on firearms. I don't know what that means, and so to me that's a threat to the county's public safety budget. And I've worked in the past on with groups and with the sheriff to promote the levy, because I'm very concerned, particularly when I hear rumors about cartel drug operations going on in the county and the difficulty under current law for the sheriff to go in and inspect these places. I don't want to get in gunfights. I'm too old for that. Even thinking about it, it's not entertaining, even watching on TV. I'm very concerned about the cost to public safety budget. Also, I believe it's measure, or anyway, that was 114, and then addressing the constitutional amendment for public health or for health access. The concern I have there was the fact that doesn't properly address what balancing out against other needs of the state. Or we're going to cut the state police in order to fund health care for people? Because that's what the legislature is going to do, is have to fund the health care. I think that's what it's meant in the writing. There again, I'm concerned about public safety and the county's budget, and how are we going to address that? How are the people in Falls City going to get police protection? As far as I know, they haven't had their own police department for a long time. And having ridden with officers in situations where I thought it was very important to have backup, getting out in the county and not having backup because of budgets, because of ill-conceived ballot measures. I'm just very concerned about that, commissioners, and that's why I'm here today. I know that in Salem, for instance, some of the jewelry stores will not allow you to walk in. You have to get an appointment. One of the jewelry stores has lost their Rolex franchise because too many smash and grabs. I'm not suggesting they're smash and grabs in Salem, but overall throughout the country, we're concerned about that. So you can't go in and take your ring in and get it cleaned because you need an appointment because of what current environment. And these measures that I just mentioned I think are going to make a real hit on Polk County's budget. I'm very concerned about that. And I just want to voice my concerns today publicly and officially to the board. And that's all I have to say. And I appreciate you giving me some time to talk.
Well, Gary, I appreciate that too. And Measure 114's got me majorly concerned because it's an unfunded measure. So they're going to put the requirements on the sheriff's department to give these classes, but they're not going to fund them.
Does it really, Commissioner? It doesn't say in the Oregon Constitution, Article 1, Section 27 says the people shall have the right to bear arms for defense of themselves and the state. But the measure doesn't say the sheriff shall be required to appoint trainers or be required to have a permit person. And for everybody outside the cities, he's the one that's going to have to do it. But it doesn't say he has to. Not the way I read it.
Correct.
To me, it reads he may. Well, what happens if he doesn't? What happens if it's a choice between patrol deputy answering my call when I'm out in Falls City visiting friends, or a choice between having somebody doing the permits? These are things that aren't written clearly, and I'm concerned about that. And like I said, I'm 74 years old. I don't want to get into fist fights and gunfights with people. Because, even if I win, I lose, right? I mean, it's a trauma. I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm here officially. And I know that Commissioner Gordon's from Falls City area. I care about Falls City too, not just myself. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to take any more time. I appreciate you listening.
Thanks for bringing your concern
And
forward.
111 is an unknown.
The wild card.
Gary,
Who's going to fund it?
the nature of sweeping legislative changes by ballot is that we don't know all the details either. The devil's in the rulemaking, and so it's difficult, I think, to make a decision on a ballot measure. You don't know the full implications.
Well, for me, it's not difficult, but that's for every individual to decide. But I have to voice my concerns on the budget. I want public safety.
Appreciate your advocacy for that levy, because that is a necessary component.
Yeah. So anyway, I know you're busy, so I'm just going to sit down and listen to what's going on. Thank you very much, everybody, for the time.
Thank you very much. Any other comments on this agenda? Link for approval of agenda.
So move.
I'll second that. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Approve consent calendar.
So move.
I'll second that. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion passes. And that brings us to Public Works Department update. Mr. Todd Whitaker. I see you brought the enforcer with you today. Oh, good morning, Heather.
Morning, Commissioners. So I'll provide an update for Public Works Department. Overall, generally things are going very well. Staffing issues are almost full. I think we're down one person on the road crew, and we'd probably like to add some technical staff, one or two positions there, but it's a pretty tough time for doing either right now. Equipment issues, our rolling stock is in pretty good shape. We do have a couple of pieces of equipment that, are getting pretty aged that need to be replaced, and we're concerned about the schedule with getting new pieces of equipment now. We're getting a water truck, I think that was ordered last December, something like that, and we may get it by this December. So that's kind of timeline that things are taking. Even pickups are taking up to a year to get. So some of the things that are coming up, we may try to accelerate some of those equipment purchases in order to anticipate that long lead time. So you may plan on that. I know we've got some mowers that are starting to enter that phase of their life where the maintenance costs are growing exponentially on those. And we bought ourselves some time with acquiring some used mower heads, but that's only going to buy us a little bit of time that we need to move on those fairly quick. I guess the other relevant issues of the time are fuel costs, which have been pretty hard to predict. So we're starting to see, the impact of that on our operations as well. I'll review some projects we recently completed. We had our real chip seal We did another urban chip seal in West Salem. We've got one more year of urban chip seals and we'll be done with those. We did some bridge approach paving, greater ditching, which is actually still ongoing, but we'll be finishing up probably this week. We did some parking lot slurry seals here at the courthouse, one at the academy. Some patch paving was done in the spring, and we've got another round of patch paving that's going to be done here within the next week or two. We did West Salem stormwater mapping with our survey crews. We had a slide repair that we needed to do on Ira Hooker Road. That was completed last week. We've got Savage Road bridge repair that we put new caps on that bridge to eliminate the weight restriction that was on that. Gardner Bridge, we did a back wall, finished our control survey in West Salem, and went through the stormwater permitting and PMDL implementation. So, I mean, that's a list of some of the bigger things. There's obviously the day-to-day stuff and everything that's going on, but it was, suffice to say, a busy year. And don't think to be slowing down anytime soon. So moving forward, review some of the other projects that we're working on. We've got Kings Valley Highway out here at Oregon 22 with a roundabout project that the state is proposing. That's in the design phase right now with a estimated construction schedule in between 2024, 2026, and a budget at 11.4 million. That project will also involve the realignment of Smithfield Road to connect to that roundabout. Or not Smithfield, sorry, Perrydale. Will be a realigned to Smithfield to connect to that. We got art signage and striping. That project is currently underway with upgrading curb warning signs and improved retroreflective centerline striping. We will finish the signage this year and the striping will go on next year. That is estimated cost of $630,000. Oregon 99, Orr's Corner, Plow Corner, that project is moving along towards final design. They're in the right-of-way acquisition process right now. And I think also some environmental permitting is still underway. I don't know if they've received all their environmental permits. They're looking at bidding that project this fall, awarding next spring, and getting started on the project next summer. And then they'll have 2 construction seasons before that's complete.
So they're actually starting construction.
That's what their schedule currently says. Yeah. Estimated budget on that is 10.5 million. Oregon 22 corridor safety improvements. This is out at the Highway 2251 interchange location, or where they will be planning an interchange. So they're preparing preliminary design of interchange in the backage roads and trying to take that to a complete environmental assessment 2024 with a budget of 10.6 million. Next project, Federal Lands Access Program, Blackrock Road. That project is currently in the right-of-way acquisition and permitting process. Permitting is completed, and then we're waiting land use permit that we have a hearing scheduled for first part of November. And we're also waiting for final plans from FHWA. So that project will reconstruct Mitchell Street and Blackrock Road, replacement of the steel bridge, and convert gravel surface to paved for about 0.9 miles to reduce winter hauling restrictions on timber harvests on federal lands. That's slated for summer 2024 construction, an estimated cost of $5 million. And I expect that cost to go up. It hasn't been updated in a year or two. Oregon 22 Fort Hill Road to AR4 Road. This is the Valley Junction interchange project that's in the preliminary design phase. They're updating the existing environmental assessment for the interchange of backage roads to relieve congestion. Facility plan is scheduled for completion March 2023. And the design acceptance plans for the Kissing Rock phase September 2023. Project budget for that is estimated 4.5 million. Local bridge application, or local bridge program or applications. We were awarded a bridge restoration project for the Helmick Road Bridge at Lucky Meat River. ODOT has asked us if we're interested in accelerating the delivery of that project because that bridge received a pretty restrictive weight restriction of 14 tons recently. So we said, yes, we want to do that. Understand Commissioner Moorhorse with his conversations with ODOT, they've advanced $500-some thousand to the STIP to get started on engineering for that project as soon as possible. So we're hoping for construction in, right now it says, design is 2023, but we'll get started on that in 2022, probably finish in 2023, and maybe we can accelerate that to get a 2024 delivery on that project. Total estimated budget for that is $3 million. 2021 ice storm is cleaned up. We're waiting for final reimbursement from FEMA on that. Our total reimbursement we're eligible for is just over $872,000 for that. Public Works Building number 1, preservation and remodel is, by all intents and purposes, it's complete. We're just waiting for the arrival of a backup generator. Grand Run North reconstruction design is about 80% complete. That'll be full construction or reconstruction of Grand Run Road between 18 and 22. We're going to plan that for next summer, and that's estimated cost of $1.5 million. 2023 chip seal will target 35 plus miles. That's estimated at 1.2 million. Safe routes to school is located at Hoffman Gun Club Road. That current design is at 30%. They're beginning the right-of-way acquisition portion of that, and also looking for a 2023 construction start on that. That's estimated at $880,000. Riddle plow safety improvements. We are currently acquiring the equipment for that, but depending upon how things work out with a planned detour that ODOT has for the roundabout at 99, that may delay our installation of that equipment depending upon how the details of that detour work out. If we make temporary improvements to the Riddle plow intersection, we don't want to have that equipment for that arts project in the way. So total project costs under some phase of development right now is about $52 million. We also have subdivision inspections in Monmouth, Dallas, Grand Run, Independence that are, with that good economy that we had a few years ago, stimulated a lot of growth, a lot of planned developments, and those things are coming through now as construction projects. So that's keeping our engineering techs busy, riding herd on all those. We did our stormwater Mpds permit renewal. That's complete now. They've changed the rules on that, so it's quite a bit different than what it used to be. Our non-point source EMDL implementation plan goes with that work, and that one was I believe that's already been completed as well. GIS tool development continues to move us towards more efficient operations. It's really happy with the development of some of the tools that we're making with GIS to make our way out in the field more efficient. And we always had trouble in the past with getting our road crew guys to understand the importance of this IRIS database where we keep all of our cost accounting and stuff. They couldn't see how it benefited them. And now to have them, we've got 3 or 4 of them that are packing around iPads and they're doing the database management themselves to bring more efficiency to their work. They don't have to wait for the end of the day to write a note to somebody to report back to them the next day on how many signs need to be replaced. It's right there at the touch of their fingers. So I'm really happy with the development of those tools and the efficiency that that's bringing to the crew. Our annual maintenance engineering projects, obviously we've got construction right-of-way permitting, road striping, culvert inspections, utility relocations for upcoming projects, sign and gate inventories, corner restorations, and the list goes on. Road maintenance projects we have underway is our fall patch pave. We're also trying to get a detour route for the Helmet Bridge. It's really not a detour route. It's just the weight restriction was placed on Helmick Road, trapped a bunch of truck traffic on the south end of Helmick Road that can't get out because the connection is at such a skewed angle. They can't get out and go north. They can only go south. And there's not a good way for them to go south and get turned around. And so we're trying to put together a project that we can get in before it gets too wet, to create a big loop at the end of Helmick Road where it ties in so that traffic now connects at a 90-degree angle. And those trucks can go either way they want. And so we got a willing landowner that's willing to sell the ground. We've got some preliminary survey out there. So it's just, can we turn the crank on that fast enough? At least what I would like to do is get it clear, grub stripped, have some geotextile down and some rock on top of it. Even if we couldn't get it paved, we can at least get it rocked this winter. We're going to have a stable surface to operate on. And we won't be trying to put that in soft soils in the spring. Our real cloud safety improvements, like I say, those are on hold now anyhow. We don't have all the parts and pieces for that anyway with the supply chain things that are going on. We've got about 2/3 of what we need. We've got a site grading project at Public Works to finish up with some of the work that we took on as part of the improvement projects that were going out there. We still need to install some rumble bars at select state highway intersections. And then we have a Sauerkraut Road culvert replacement we're going to be doing. Bridge maintenance projects underway that will most likely be pushed to next year. Many of these are Gooseneck Road, back walls, Greenwood Road needs a back wall. The large bridge at Greenwood Road will be doing some scour monitoring on. Like I mentioned, the Helmick Truss has a 14-ton weight restriction. We'll try to make an outlet for trucks down at the south end. Wildwood Truss Bridge got a weight restriction of 32 tons. These are just for SU6 and SU7 trucks, which we don't have any down there. So we've talked to timber companies and stuff from the area. They said they don't have any using that. So we just went ahead and posted that, not try to make any, there is a go around. They can use Burbank Gage Road and get around. So that'll just be a signing restriction. And then obviously Independence Bridge was weight restriction. We're just kind of along for the ride on that. I think Marion County is waiting for some funds to make some improvements to that. And Airlie Road at Peterson Creek is likely to get a weight restriction. So we're going to be looking at maybe making some proactive improvements there. If we can predict why we think it's going to get a weight restriction, then we may be able to head that off. So that's the quick rundown. Any questions?
Is that it?
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear about your staffing levels. Well done. Now we can affect that a bit at the board level, but it's really culture and leadership and pride in work. And I know not every public works department is experiencing what you're experiencing. So we're doing something right. So thank you for that. What else was it? The Clow and 99 detour. Appreciate you taking some of the input from the meeting yesterday and working with ODA. Lyle, thank you for your leadership on that project. I know we can find a solution and move that project forward and communicate the detour in the best way we can. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be ideal. People are going to struggle with it, but that's the nature of detours. They're inconvenient slightly.
Yeah.
But I know
as long as it's safe.
That's right. We can mitigate safety and make sure the project's done on time. Appreciate your work with ODA on that.
Thank you. Todd, I just wanted to tell you thank you for all your involvement in everything. So I know your plate is amazing, how much you can get done. And I know it says everything about your team behind you.
I've got a really great group. I can't say enough about, the chemistry, the skills, the capacity, good attitude.
You got them on tablets.
Yep. Great group of people to work with.
So I'm good. Just great job.
Yeah, thank you for this. This is really helpful to receive these updates because we have a lot of questions about it. And Lyle can't answer every question. You can't answer every question. So the more we're educated on the updates, it's really helpful. Appreciate it.
Okay.
please share with you guys how much we appreciate their efforts.
in the future.
Oh, gotcha. Yep. And you guys are gonna go into your grand run meeting, so I'll hang around for that.
Next up, reclassification for of an employee, Mr. Matt Hawkins.
Good morning. Yes, I am here to request the reclassification of Holly Arklander in our Community Development Department. She's currently an Office Specialist 3, but we're requesting to reclassify her to a Permit Specialist. We've undergone some changes in community development and lost some people, anticipating another resignation coming up. And with this reclassification, we can have her take on more of the technical skills that are required. So along with that, I'm sorry, I said 3. She's an Office Specialist 2 going to a Permit Specialist. If you approve this, it would be effective October 1st. It would be a fiscal impact of approximately $2,500 if all things were to stay the same, but due to changes, we're actually gonna see a savings in that departmental budget.
I'm good.
Great promotion. Thanks, Holly.
All right,
Excellent.
thank you.
We have a need for an executive session today.
Yes, sir. The board will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192-660 sub 2D to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to carry on, sub 2E to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to negotiate real property transactions, and sub H to consult with legal counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of a public body with regard to current litigation or